Hello everybody, welcome to Best Top 5. I'm Best Guy, and today we're talking about the top 5 George A. Romero movies. George Romero has a lot of good movies. Most of them are horror movies, but not all of them are zombie movies. So if you've never seen any of his movies, stay tuned for some of the greatest films that he's made. For number 5, we have a movie that not many people know about. This was made many years after his zombie films. It was released in the year 2000, and that movie is called Bruiser. Bruiser tells the story of a man who wakes up one day, he just has a mask on. He can't take it off. And the story, can it be called a superhero movie? Would you call it a superhero movie?
Not really.
It's him trying to find who made him who he is.
Yeah.
And it's well directed. It's not a horror movie, but it does have horror elements. If you're into like horror and a little bit of a superhero kind of story in there, you'll definitely enjoy this movie. For number 4, we have Monkeyshine. This movie was released in the 80s. It's not a zombie movie. This is a story about a man who's paralyzed and he has a monkey that aids him. The story seems a little silly, but it's not scary, but it is a fun movie. It's a movie where, I don't want to ruin, but there's a classic scene where, every time I remember I just laugh, where he has to defend himself from the monkey, and it's literally a man who is in a wheelchair against a monkey. It seems offensive to some people, but
wait, a real monkey?
A little tiny little monkey. He's the villain of this movie. He's a tiny little monkey.
A toy monkey?
No, a real monkey.
Oh.
Yeah, a real monkey. Yeah, it's not a toy monkey.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a toy monkey in the cover, but...
Yeah, it depends which movie you buy, because if you buy, like, the old DVD, there's, like, an actual monkey, like...
Looking through the blind?
Looking through the blinds, and then there's the one where it's, like, the toy monkey that you... But watch it, it's a great movie. Classic. It's not scary, but it is highly entertaining. For number 3, we have Creepshow. If you've never seen Creepshow, and if you like movies like... or the TV show Tales from the Crypt, you're going to enjoy Creepshow, because it's an anthology story. It's literally just separate different stories that... I wouldn't call them scary, but they are fun. They're really cool little stories. And George Romero, brought this movie, and it's kind of a shame, outside of the horror community at least, not many people know about the movie. So, I highly recommend Creepshow. For number 2, I know a lot of people are going to say, where is Night of the Living Dead here? What's going on? Mind you, Night of the Living Dead is one of his best films, and I love Night of the Living Dead. The only reason I'm putting it as an honorable mention, is because Night of the Living Dead, well, this is a classic film, and I love that movie. There's certain elements in Night of the Living Dead that I just don't like. One of them being the character of Barbara. Barbara is pretty much useless in the original Night of the Living Dead. She doesn't do anything other than complain, saying, "Where's Johnny? We gotta find Johnny!" And it's just so annoying. Luckily, in the remake directed by Tom Savini, they changed that error. The other thing I don't like in the original Night of the Living Dead, and mind you, this was a movie that was on a low budget, the acting isn't that great. So for number 2, instead of Night of the Living Dead, I am putting Day of the Dead. Because on a technical aspect and also on a story level, it is a superior movie in my opinion. You guys can put your cap locks and start saying, "Fuck you, Movie Master." Actually, no, fuck you, Vesk. I don't know who Movie Master is. It's some other guy. They say he looks like me.
Some asshole.
So yeah, some guy. I don't know.
I actually like that guy better.
Nah.
Fuck you, man.
He doesn't like Pauly Shore. I don't like that guy.
Yeah, I don't like him. It's fucking fat and ugly, man. I don't know how that guy looks like me. So, Day of the Dead. If you haven't seen Day of the Dead, it's the 3rd film in the George Romero zombie trilogy. Now, yes, there are other movies after Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, Diary, and all those other movies that I just don't like. But Day of the Dead is the closing chapter. It was the closing chapter for a long time. And it tells a story of scientists trying to find a way to coexist with the zombies or trying to find a cure of some kind. And they're pretty much underground, they're trying to survive. So this is pretty much like the end, this is the apocalypse, and the effects in this movie are so well. They've aged really well. There's a classic scene where the main guy, the main villain, who's this military dude, he gets defeated by a character named Bub, who is a zombie who has been domesticated, and he can actually use a gun and shoot. And he shoots a military guy, and he gets attacked by these other zombies. And there's a classic line where he's being ripped to shreds, and he says, "Choke on him! Choke on him!" That's number 2, Day of the Dead. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Great zombie movie. And for number 1, we have my favorite George Romero zombie movie. And I kind of gave it away because I said zombie. And that movie is Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is the quintessential zombie movie. It's not only a good zombie movie, but it's also a good social commentary. If you watch that movie, of course, yes, it has aged. Some of the effects aren't very good. The blood looks kind of pinkish and reddish. It doesn't look that great, but it's still a great story. It's literally just a group of people stuck in a mall and they're trying to survive. The acting is better, of course, because they had better, they had money to hire actors. They actually have a budget. There's several versions of this movie. There is a Dario Argento cut. There is a European cut. There's an extended cut. Sadly, the DVD is out of print. I think they recently, or either they announced or they have released the theatrical version on Blu-ray again. It goes for ridiculous prices online if you're trying to find the other versions. But if you manage to watch the movie, try to watch the theatrical version that was released. The other versions are okay in their own right, but they were altered for a specific reason. Like the European cut, or Dario Argento cut, I think, was altered because they eventually made an unofficial sequel called Zombie 2, which is a terrible movie that has nothing to do with the George Romero movies. Just watch Dawn. You can watch this on its own, even though it is a sequel to Night of the Living Dead. Just watch it on its own. Great movie. So, the reason why I did this list is because, sadly, we lost George A. Romero this year. And he was a great director. He is actually someone who has influenced a lot of people to make films. He influenced me. One of the first movies I saw as a kid growing up was actually Night of the Living Dead. And it's curious that I didn't put it on my top 5, but it's funny because after I saw that movie, I started watching his other films and started seeing how good a director he was. And if it wasn't for George Romero, we would not have a Dawn of the Dead remake. We wouldn't have Walking Dead. A lot of the things that we take for granted now in terms of horror come from legends and masters like George A. Romero. And it's a shame that he's gone, and you'll be missed. Rest in peace. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, is there a zombie movie that I missed from George Romero, or any other George Romero movie that you actually like? Please let me know in the comments section down below. I'm Vest Guy, and this is Vest Top 5. Make sure to like and subscribe. And they're coming to get you, Baba.